Denn auf jedem Schiff braucht es eine gute Crew. Und diese Crew ist die Insight Group und den Anfang macht hier die Immerse. Durch Immersive AI, den Begriff, den Marc eben erklärt hat, ist es möglich, Trainings auf eine ganz neue Art und Weise zu erleben. Und viele Bereiche, die vorab vielleicht gar nicht möglich waren, sind das jetzt. Ich könnte darüber jetzt ein bisschen erzählen und ein bisschen sprechen, aber ich glaube, ich kann das niemals so gut wie Alexander Menakin.
Thank you, Lars. My name is Alexander Menakin. I'll do this in English if it's okay. I'm a Chief Product and Technology Officer at Immerse, and I'm happy to be here and welcome you all. So, what we'll start with, picture this. You land your dream job not because of your factual knowledge and academic credentials, but because you're the best karaoke singer in the office. Or let's say you promote your engineer because he does the best jokes over a coffee in the kitchen and not the one who recently completed a very challenging technical task. That would be weird, wouldn't it? What kind of world would it be if everyone had this logic? Well, according to Harvard and Stanford researchers, that would have been our world, because they found out that 85% of your career success actually depends on your soft skills and only 15% on your hard skills. That's not new information. We've known that for over a century. The first research on that topic with the similar numbers was published 1910 approximately, and since then there is dozens of them. So maybe that's why companies in 2010 spent $47 billion on soft skill trainings all over the world. Makes sense. We're smart. We learn our statistics, we learn our data, we act accordingly. Or do we? Wait a moment, we actually do not, because those $47 billion are only 28% of all the training spendings that the companies did in 2010, and 72% went for hard skills. So it's basically nearly the same relation, but upside down. So how could it be? How come? How is it even possible that soft skills are 6 times more important than hard skills for your career success, for your employee development and advancement, but they only get nearly a quarter of all the training budgets? Well, an easy answer to this question is because it's complicated. Soft skills are way more complicated to train than hard skills. And let me give you a couple examples. You do not necessarily need a human coach or a human at all to train and to learn hard skills. There is a huge variety of e-learning offerings. There is Udemy, Coursera, you can watch YouTube tutorials and learn pretty much anything. You can learn to code, you can learn how to solve mathematical equations correctly, and you don't need a person for that. You need a book or a video, pen and paper, or a computer at home. However, attempting to train interpersonal skills without an actual person doesn't make any sense. You can learn something about communication, about soft skills, but you cannot practice it without a real person, which makes it more expensive and not that scalable. Then, hard skills, most of them, are pretty easy to measure. It's mostly binary. Either you can solve an equation correctly or you cannot. Either you write computer code that works or you do not and it doesn't work. With soft skills, it's different. There is no one single correct way to be a good leader, or one single correct sales technique that should be applied the same way. It's usually a range, and you need a human to assess it, and you need someone's opinion to tell you if you did well or not. Also, hard skills usually do not care about your individual personality. It doesn't matter if you're a conscientious, calm, reserved engineer or an outgoing, extroverted salesperson. You would basically do the same thing to learn how to code or to learn hard facts. With soft skills, again, not the same. Doesn't matter which technique we're talking about, it's still just the beginning. You need to own it and you need to apply it in a very authentic way, otherwise it won't work. You cannot just copy someone's sales techniques. So what's the point of this presentation? Have I actually come here to tell you that soft skills are impossible to train and that you should further invest in hard skills and just forget about it? Of course not, that would be boring. And at this point in time, you wouldn't be surprised if I told you that at Immerse, we actually found a way to solve all of those 3 problems and actually many more. So We do not need a human coach or a role-play partner because we replace both of them with AI. We do provide measurable outcomes because we assign you a score that is quantifiable after you completed training, and a coach also can assign you a score, right? But it's the same AI that assigns a score to every single user of Immerse, from China to Japan to Los Angeles to Berlin. That's why there is a standard framework that you can use to benchmark you to yourself yesterday or you to your peers if you want to. And also, while we sincerely and genuinely care about your individual personality, honestly, it doesn't make very much of a difference because our AI is smart enough to adjust itself for your individual communication style so that you can stay authentic while you train. It only cares about whether you achieved your learning goals, or your communication goals or not, and how exactly you did that. It's fine, you can be yourself. So how exactly does that work, and what is Immerse? So we are a conversational training platform that utilizes artificial intelligence to simulate interpersonal situations in virtual reality. And by the way, not only, we can also use it in web and desktop. So we make a simulation of any conversation, right? We can do sales, we can do recruiting from both sides, and you would talk to your role-play partner, who is represented by an AI character in a natural language. And by the way, in any natural language, basically, we tried it with all the big ones: German, French, Spanish, Portuguese, English, all work well. The dialogue is not scripted. We only set up the boundaries and the guidelines. And within those boundaries and guidelines, you and your AI role-play partner can find your way and navigate the conversation to achieve the end goal. Also, you could set up the persona of the character you're speaking to, so you can train in different situations. And we'll provide you with a system of intermediate milestones, so even during the conversation, you know if you're going to the right direction or not. For example, in this example that I'll show you right now, there will be a list of milestones in the bottom left corner, and one of them is show empathy. And as soon as my colleague Nick shows empathy, AI recognizes it and marks the goal as complete. So let's take a look at the recording, a snippet of a conflict resolution training with Immerse.
I need to talk about the recent project and how much extra time I've put into it. It's frustrating because it feels like those efforts aren't recognized. I'm drained, and learning that the company doesn't compensate for overtime has made everything worse. It's as if my hard work means nothing. I'm questioning the team's direction and the company's values. This isn't right.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for being so transparent and coming to me with your personal feelings. Let's just try to figure out how this situation could develop like this and find a way to get better and have a new start from here on. What would you suggest? How can we start?
It's hard to see a way forward when I'm feeling this overworked and undervalued. I've sacrificed a lot, including personal time, without seeing any form of acknowledgement. How can we make this right?
And that's more or less how the conversation goes, right? It's ping pong, you say, they say, and you have to check all the milestones, intermediate. But actually, most of the magic happens even afterwards, not here, but at the feedback. Because after you finish the conversation, we give you a very detailed feedback on how you did well and give you recommendations on what to do differently next time. And we can assess you against, well, common sense, of course, but also any existing framework or methodology that exists, whether it's spin sales or challenger sales or Josh Brown objection handling or whatever exists and well-known. Actually, we can also use frameworks that are not well-known and that are of your own. We can teach our AI model to use a proprietary and custom framework to assess users' performance. We also can assign you a measurable score, a quantifiable number that you can use to benchmark you against your peers or yourself from the day before. And Immerse also comes with a learning management system that managers could use to assign trainings to employees that need it, and also to see the feedback, aggregated statistics, and you as a user can see how well you progressed over time. So let's take a look at the example of the feedback.
In reviewing your role play as the manager, your attempt at empathy was noted, yet it could be more directly expressed. For example, affirm the employee's feelings with statements like, "I see how hard this has been on you." Active listening was demonstrated by asking for specific examples, but you could enhance this by summarizing what the employee says to confirm understanding.
That was actually it. And I would encourage you to come visit, well, firstly to ask you questions during the panel discussion, and then come visit our stand over there and try this out for yourself. Thank you.